Hey guys, so if you're into LinkedIn outreach and if you probably searched how to bypass LinkedIn connection limit or how to reach out to more people on LinkedIn or just basic like if you researched about LinkedIn outbound, there's a probability that you must have heard something called as LinkedIn account renting. So in this video, I'll just run you through what LinkedIn account actually is, how you can rent accounts and what are all the things that you should look for when you're renting an account. So let's just get started. So in order to understand why something like LinkedIn account renting actually exists, you have to understand how LinkedIn outreach actually works. So let's say you have your own LinkedIn account that you're doing outreach from. LinkedIn have a weekly connection limit of just 150 connection requests. So you cannot send more than 150 connection requests in a single week with one account. So let's say you send out the connection request, the average is around 30% acceptance rate. So you will get 40 to 45 new connections that you can reach out to. Like if you just run the metrics, you're barely booking any calls from just reaching out to 40 people. So the main bottleneck that we have to bypass, it's the connection limit LinkedIn have. So let's just see how people have started doing LinkedIn outreach these days. So let's say instead of just one account, you found a way and you rented out 10 accounts, and suddenly all the metrics that you had is multiplied by 10. Instead of 150 connections, suddenly you have 1500 connections that you can send out, and with the same 30% reply rate, you have around 450 people that you can send your first message to. All these 450 people will under the ICP, and since they are from LinkedIn, the probability of them actually seeing the message is very, very high. And suddenly the whole system is entirely profitable just because you use 10 accounts. This is why people are started using multiple accounts for their outreach, especially on LinkedIn. So you might have a question, why don't people just create more accounts instead of renting and paying like actual money to use others' account? Now, to understand this, you have to know how LinkedIn as a platform basically works. LinkedIn is very, very strict with fake accounts. LinkedIn does not allow you to create even a second account for your own self. So LinkedIn's algorithm is so strict, they only want real people on their platform, which is really impressive how they managed to do that. That's why if you're reaching out to like 450 people, you're getting good response rate out of them because like all of them are real people. So this is why if you just think of creating new fake accounts yourself, they will immediately get banned and you won't be able to use them for reach. That's why LinkedIn account renting exists, and that's why you have like suppliers who found a way to source accounts from real people and they just rent them out to people who wants to scale their LinkedIn outreach. So this is the basic idea behind it. Now let's just talk about what are all the things that you should look forward before renting and how you can actually rent these accounts and use them for your own outreach. Now, if you're renting accounts, there's few things that you should probably look for in the accounts that you're renting out. So there is just mainly three criteria that the account that you're renting out should qualify. So the first one is the account should be from a real person. What does that mean is this account should not be a fake account created by the supplier that you're renting it. There is a simple way how you can identify if it's a real account or a fake account is through the verification mark in the account. LinkedIn only provide verification marks to accounts that are from real people, and they have to verify their own identity in order to get the verification mark. And it also adds a level of credibility to the account itself, and it looks more professional, and LinkedIn will not flag that account very easily because it's verified and it's from a real person. So make sure the account that you're renting has this verification mark, and if the supplier is trying to sell you accounts without verification mark, like push them to ask the real person to verify, or just don't rent the accounts from them. So that's one thing. Second thing, make sure the account have some establishment. Now what does that mean is make sure the account have at least 500 plus connections. It doesn't matter if you have 600 or 2000, LinkedIn will just show 500 plus. It adds a level of credibility and trustworthiness to the account itself. And if you rebrand and let's say you make it like CMO or CFO of your company, it should look like it's already been established, and it just adds a level of professionalism to the account. So make sure it's 500 plus. Imagine like if you just open an account and it's like 150 connection, immediately you'll know the account is not well established. So make sure these accounts have 500 plus connections minimum. Now the third criteria that you need to look is make sure the account is aged. It should be minimum 6 months, because at the end of the day we are going to push this accounts to its limit. So it's very important that these accounts are not like brand new. Let's say these accounts are brand new and you just immediately push the limits on these accounts, LinkedIn will just flag them and they might restrict or ban them. So we don't just want that extra struggles, right? So make sure these accounts are minimum 6 months old. That's like three main things that you should look for in the accounts that you're renting. Now let's talk about the main criteria that you should look for in the supplier that you're renting it from. Before jumping into that, I also want to address few myths around the accounts that you have to rent. Myth number one, the account should be from US or UK in order for you to use it to reach out in the Western countries. Now this is a myth because you can easily change the country in any LinkedIn account in like 2 seconds. It's just like editing the account's country. And if you want real US or UK accounts, you have to pay significantly more, like 5 to 10 times more for real accounts from people in US or UK. And it immediately make the whole system unprofitable. And the main thing is we are currently in a global economy and we have people from all around the world working in every industry. So it doesn't matter if you're using Indian accounts or if you're using Asian accounts, as long as the copy and the service that you're selling is good, it doesn't matter the race of the account. You can have any accounts, just make sure the country is set up properly and make sure your copy and the service that you're selling is good. So this is myth number one. Myth number two is you need to have LinkedIn Premium on all the accounts that you're using. LinkedIn Premium doesn't actually increase your connection limits or DMs. So those are the only two metrics that we need to worry about. You do not need LinkedIn Premium on every account. It doesn't add any real value to that. It just increases the price of these accounts. Let's say if you're handling like 20 to 30 accounts, you just need one SalesNav accounts in order for you to like scrape your ICP and stuff. So only one Sales Navigator account is enough. You don't need premiums on every account. Just a free plan will do. So these are the two myths that I need to address. Now let's jump into what are all the things that you should look for in the supplier that you're actually renting it from. At the end of the day, you're paying him and you want to find someone who's trustworthy, right? So yeah, let's just jump into it. Now the first main thing is it's pretty simple. Make sure the accounts that you're selling or renting out match all the criteria that we previously spoke about. There's a bunch of providers who rent out accounts with 100 connections, who rent out like very new accounts, or there's people who rent out fake accounts. Make sure those rental accounts that you are getting matches all the criteria. So just make sure the provider have accounts that matches all the criteria that we need. The second main thing is make sure you can directly speak with the supplier. There's a lot of services who are just trying to hide behind text and emails because it's very easy to scam people in this. So make sure the people that you're renting out from is a real person and you can have a conversation with them and make sure like they understand the LinkedIn outreach space and everything and not someone who's just trying to make quick money. Third and most important thing is make sure they have a free replacement policy. This is very, very important because even if we do everything right, we are doing LinkedIn automation and we are like pushing the limits of these accounts and there's a probability of these accounts getting restricted. Let's say if you're renting 10 accounts, there's a probability of 1 or 2 accounts getting restricted. The supplier should be able to replace these restricted accounts without any additional cost. The supplier can get it back in the future. He can re-verify it or reach out to LinkedIn support and he can get it back, but it will just take time and you don't have to suffer the losses at that time period. So make sure they have a free account replacement policy. This is like one of the main thing that you should look for. Now the fourth thing is a bit technical, but make sure they provide their own proxies. You don't want someone who just gives you ID password and ask you to log in the accounts. They should store these accounts in a tool or a system where these accounts are being hosted in their own proxies and it helps the account stability tremendously. If you just log in a new account on your new device, it will just get banned. So make sure these accounts are hosted on their own proxies. So if you just get accounts without proxies, then you have to pay for proxies separately and it's a pretty confusing process to get proxies and like host the accounts yourself. And it just makes it way easier if the supplier have their own proxies and they are hosting the accounts themselves. And the fifth thing is a bit general, but make sure they understand LinkedIn outreach themselves. Make sure they are well versed with the automation tools. Make sure they did it themselves for their own company or something. Like make sure they are in this industry for some time because you are paying someone and they should be able to support you on any roadblocks that you face. So they should be just able to log the accounts into your automation tool. They should be able to like manage it and they should have that basic understanding of how to do certain things. They should have understanding of the proxies. They should understanding of the existing automation tools out there. They should know everything that goes behind an LinkedIn outreach system. In that way, they can easily help you out. So these are like the main criteria. Like finding a good supplier is 90% of the work. Now, how you can find these suppliers? Like, you can just go on the internet and search. You will find a bunch of websites who offer these services. Just make sure they have all the criteria that we are looking for. On that note, I have my own account rental service. So just go to twinaccounts.com. Just look around. You will understand the things that I'm talking about. If you want accounts, just book a call with me or send me a text. I'll be happy to help you out. And if you don't want to deal with renting accounts yourself and setting up your own automation, go to my main business, which is utwin.com. Here, like, we just do the entire thing done for you. So you don't have to worry about account rentals or finding a supplier. You don't have to even worry about which automation tool that you need to use. Me and my team will set up the whole thing for you, and you just have to show up to the call. So that's pretty much it. I hope you got some value out of this video and you learned something new. So yeah, if you need any help, just go to my site and reach out to me. I'll be very happy to help you guys scale your LinkedIn outreach.